The New Orleans Saints quarterback competition is taking shape, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler Shough, Spencer Rattler, surprise entrant, Jake Haener. All seem to be vying for the quarterback role. We are in the van, all right? Not the bus. It's a very different video if you're in the bus. The hell am I talking about?
Quarterback battle. I don't want to say it's like taking shape, but I think that there is a very clear mental hierarchy as you look at this of where you're stacking at least the very first quarterback. And I think it's clearly Spencer Rattler right now. And
All right. Everything we've heard so far, now that we've seen about a week of padded practice, is that Spencer Rattler is far and away the number one guy. He is the starting quarterback. I would be very surprised at this point if Tyler Shough put it all together in time to be the starter week one, which kind of goes in line with what I was saying originally of the risk-free option is to start Spencer Rattler, see what you can do with Rattler, see what he can get out there, let Shough develop, don't rush him, give him some more time, because then it gives you the flexibility of, okay, Rattler's playing really well, let's just stick with him, or he's struggling, but we got that extra however long to get Shough, further in his development. Now we can play Shough. The fans will understand because we've given Rattler all the chances to succeed. So there's not this like back and forth. Maybe you should go here. Maybe you should play him. Why aren't we playing him? So I think it makes the most sense to play Rattler off the jump. And that was before the reports that he's just been the better player. So now I think it's pretty simple. I would expect pretty soon, around that preseason game, we get that announcement of, okay, Rattler is the one moving forward.
I think very clearly Tyler Shough needs things to slow down for him and to start just processing. He looks like someone that knows what he's supposed to do. I thought today he was trying to push the ball down the field more, which I think is something we need to see more out of him overall. It's been a lot of stuff inside the 10-yard lines. He was trying to take the top off. He did deliver a throw today that should have been caught by Bub Means. Bub didn't spot the ball down the field. That would have helped his case somewhat, but throws 2 interceptions. I think when things are getting messy for him, especially in that 2-minute, granted they can't snap the damn ball to him, but I think there's just times where things are happening way too fast for him, and I think when the pressure's coming, you're seeing it more and more.
Yeah, I mean I'm not like disturbed by what I'm seeing from Tyler Shough. It should meet expectations in the amount of time. I mean, he's only had X amount of practices. He's only had X amount of padded practices. He's only had X amount of 11-on-11 practices. I think this is probably what it's supposed to look like. And I think
the appropriate way to look at this is that, when you draft a guy, whether it's Shough or Cam Ward or Jackson Dart or Shedeur Sanders, LOL, there is that early period where you just don't know. Like maybe they will hit the ground running, right? Maybe it'll just click. They'll understand it. They'll get out there. They're rocking and rolling. No problem, right? That's the CJ Stroud. That's the Jaden Daniels. Like, all right. I mean, damn, these guys are ready to roll. Some guys, though, they need that time. And some guys need a little time to figure things out, get comfortable, understand the offense, understand the speed of the game, whatever. And that just is what it is. And I think at this point now, we can comfortably say Tyler Shough is there. He is in the needs more time. What that will become, like he needs more time doesn't mean, give him a week, then try and start him. Give him another week, then try and start him. It just means, okay, now we can take some of the foot off the gas. As of right now, he doesn't seem to be truly in that competition to start week one, second one, first snap. Now, I say all that. I wouldn't be overly surprised if Shough figures it out and he does at some point, things start to click, and at some point that the quarterback battle ramps back up. But as of right now, I think it's okay. And this is what I think people are really pausing with. I think it's okay at this stage to say Tyler Shough is taking a backseat to Spencer Rattler and let him develop at his own pace. It seems like there was a lot of pressure on everyone to just anoint Tyler Shough as he's the guy, he's the franchise, he's the generational player, he's got this, and this. Now we got to walk it back a little bit and just kind of give him a little bit of that time and take some pressure off of him.
I think anything else would have been exceeding expectations if he looked more ready to hit the ground running right away. And again, it just goes to the whole, how do you frame the conversation? Is this a team that wants to give Tyler Shough every chance, or is this a team that's going to have to say you have to look more ready than Spencer Rattler does in week one? Because if
it's the answer. It is the same answer. Giving Tyler Shough every chance to succeed might mean letting him relax a little bit and not throwing him in there immediately and not throwing him in there when he's not ready. Throwing in a quarterback when they're not ready, a la Kenny Pickett, sometimes can be the worst thing for their development. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, sometimes you get tossed in there, you take your lumps, and then boom, all of a sudden you're really good. But the best thing for Tyler Shough right now, as far as the Saints go, as far as finding the most out of their investment, it might be to take a step back and not focus. I mean, of course he's going to be focusing on trying to do the best he can, but frame it a little differently than we're trying to get you ready to start week one.
It's the second question. If it's who has to look more ready 1 month from now, then Spencer Rattler is going to be hard to beat. He looks more ready right now. And that part of it, if we're trying to look at their ceilings, where does this team want to get by the end of the year? How much do they need to see Tyler Shough to make future decisions about the quarterback? That muddies it. If it's no, this is just a competition. Who plays better in August? Then it's hard not to bet on Rattler.
Yeah,
he's going to look better in August than Shough is going to look.
But what do you like the framing?
I mean, if your decision is this is just playing a competition, whoever looks better in the training camp practices and the preseason games gets the starting job, then I'm definitely going to bet on Rattler.
Yeah,
he's looked better. I think he's going to look better. If it's more of a no, we drafted Tyler Shough and we want him to be the starter. We if he shows like he's anywhere close to being ready, then we want to put him in there. Then that's different. But
he's not. But it's the same thing. He's not showing he's ready. If he was showing he's ready, then that would mean he's doing better in August, which it completely changes everything. This is not because it is a true competition. There isn't that, well, we drafted Tyler Shough 40th overall, we got to play him. That is not what's happening because they're so close to each other in age and just everything. Like there is no, maybe on like an ego level, it's we want our guy who we drafted to work out, but I don't think it's going to factor in who they play. It's just going to be who wins, who's ready, who is ready to play. If Shough's ready to play, that means he's doing pretty damn good because that means he catches up to Spencer Rattler and closes the gap. Then yeah, he probably does play. But if Rattler's ready to roll and Rattler is better and Rattler's playing better and the offense looks better, Spencer Rattler's going to play.
Who looks better right now? Of course, Rattler is ahead of him right now.
No question about it. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I would like to see him doing a little more though. I mean,
who's that?
Shough. This is a 26-year-old guy that was drafted immediately after they learned about Derek Carr's situation. It feels like they want him to be able to play right now, and I think you need him. I think you want him to be able to get on the field so you can evaluate him, and then you're making your decision. Like we've said, it's Shough Rattler versus next year's class too, and those are decisions you have to make. I don't know how much time he has, like in terms of like a year-long thing.
Not long, I'll tell you that. He does not have a 2-year window. He doesn't have a 3-year window. Doesn't have any of that. He's up against it as far as that goes. Because if he can't beat out Spencer Rattler, then all of a sudden now you open up all of this like, well, what if Rattler's good? What if he takes a step? You don't throw away his development. You don't throw him away next year for a 27-year-old project. You know what I mean? Like, so Shough does have to figure it out. And if he loses out this off season, which it seems like he's going to, and Rattler starts the season, it's out of his hands. Like, then all of a sudden fate is in Spencer Rattler's hands. Because then the only way that Shough's probably going to get on the field is if Rattler is bad once he becomes a starter. But, I mean, we've seen it in San Francisco. Brock Purdy was never bad. So Trey Lance never got a chance to get back on the field. It just, one guy was playing in preseason for the Chargers, and then the other guy signed a, $300 million deal. Sometimes it'd be like that. And if Shough loses out this competition, he allows that to be a thing.
Obviously has time right now. I think there's a lot of time. You know, I said it on our last show that we had the redo it, and we had talked about it on the first one, but then I reiterated the point that we were both making, is that like there is obviously time for him to put it together. Like it's not red alarm or anything like that.
Right.
It's been a week. But the whole like is he going to hit the ground running? Is he going to be this, and this? That conversation is probably over. Now the conversation of can he develop? Does he have time? Can he do this? Yeah, okay, sure. He's got. I mean, yeah, it's 5 weeks till the season, but it's less of Tyler Shough's job to lose, and now it's like, okay, Tyler Shough's gonna have to do something to prove that he needs to win the job.
I think you do look at it though, and it's like you've done the soft credit pull for some level of concern at this point, because we are a week into the process.
No question.
You aren't doing the hard one that goes on your credit report, but you are looking, you know, you open the letter and put it in to see what the offer is at least. And then you go from there and you decide if you want to finance it or not. But like, I am at least a little bit, you know, it's 7 practices and there isn't anything where I've been like, hey, he's working toward it. Now, I still believe that there is a possibility that's just click and go. And I think one day there could just be something where he wakes up and he's like, oh, this like all it, like I see it now, and he's able to start building on that. And
always possible. I mean, we see it all over the place. We've seen it with Geno, we've seen it with Sam Darnold, we've seen it with Bryce Young, kind of, sort of, where at a certain point it just kind of clicks. And at a certain point you start to play different, move different, think different. Could certainly happen, for sure. But, you know, the Tyler Shough thing right now, a lot of the concerns that we raised during the draft, they're here. And it is what it is. The concerns are out there. The red flags are out there now. Okay. Now it's time to see if you can fix them. And that's up to Tyler Shough and also up to the coaching staff. For an experienced player, right? 7 years of college, older player, whatever, we said during the draft, he hadn't really played that many games. You know, so now all of a sudden it's okay, can he catch up to the game speed? Can he catch up to the processing and all of that? During the draft, we talked about him, you know, falling off his back foot, rolling away from contact. Now we're starting to see some of that. Okay, can you fix it? That's it. Like now the red flags were there. Some of those red flags are still there. Now it's up to him to develop and the coaches to get him through it. That's just what it is with draft prospects. You know, we obviously didn't dig into every single quarterback, but I'm sure if you go through every single quarterback, you're going to find those red flags. I mean, we did it with Caleb Williams 2 weeks ago, where looked at the red flags at USC. He was still showing some of those red flags year one in Chicago, still showing those red flags this training camp. Okay. Now it's up to Ben Johnson and his coaching staff to get Caleb through those red flags. And if he can grow through them and develop through them, he can be a good player. If he can't, he won't be. It's that simple. So it's not this guy sucks, get this guy's ass. It's here's the issues, here's the problems we're seeing. Adjust.
If that happens, great. It could happen now, it could happen in October, whatever. But I do think it is important for it to happen at some point this year, because I don't know that there is a 2-3 year process with the guy that you picked 40th.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. The league has I made that point when they drafted him. The second round draft pick is a rarity in the NFL. Like there's a few that get their shots, like Derek Carr and Andy Dalton. There's way more.
There's been 10 since Carr. Carr was one. There's been 10 since then. 4 of them have played. It's Jimmy Garoppolo, Geno,
Jalen Hurts,
and Carr. 2 of them didn't make their name with their original team. So it's about a 20% chance of like hitting and having the patience for it to work.
Kyle Trask is more common. Tampa Bay took him second as an heir apparent to Tom Brady, but they never wanted to mess around and give him a chance. They signed Baker Mayfield instead. It's way more.
Kyle Trask is a good example. And we have a video on this channel when they signed Baker. And that's what we said. We were like, look, if Trask loses this competition, he's going to be out of a job. Because when you're a second-round pick, you don't get that time. And look what happened with Tampa, where Baker wins the job, and Baker's an MVP candidate. Kyle Trask, like, it was a complete afterthought. You know, you lose that job, the team doesn't have the incentive to, number one, you lose the job for a reason, right? And number two, the team doesn't have the incentive to drop that much capital in your development. They'll just move on from you. They'll just move on. Not a big deal. And that's what would happen here, 100%.
Common in this league to not give these guys a chance, or the ones that do, third-round picks, even first-round picks, even Mac Jones, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis, like, they get one chance.
Yeah.
And not even a whole season sometimes. And teams move on from you quickly. So yeah, the clock is ticking on Shough. He can't redshirt this season and at the same time convince them not to draft one next season. Like, it's unfortunate for young quarterbacks. Look,
if he redshirts this, it's gonna be Spencer, like, making the case.
Exactly. If he redshirts, if he sits the entire year, not only does he then have to be better than the upcoming draft class, but then he's got to make sure that along the way, or it's completely out of his hands, but Spencer can't be good. Because if Spencer's good, Shough is doubly screwed. Because then they're just going to focus on Spencer Rattler, who happens to be younger, and that'll just be it. Like, that'll be, you know, if Spencer is good, I'll put it to you like this. If Spencer's good, there will not be a conversation this offseason of, well, let's see what Shough's got. It'll just be Shough's the backup. You don't mess with what works in the NFL, especially the quarterback position. And God forbid, if you're a Tyler Shough fan, if Spencer is really good, like if he takes that step and it's like, damn, he's legit. Like he's our CJ Stroud. He's our whatever, where, you know, he's doing these things. You don't go backwards and say, I know this was working. I know this was good. I know we have a young quarterback on a rookie deal who's succeeding. How about we try and mix things up a little bit? That would absolutely not happen.
True.
Look, Spencer's
a year younger. Yeah.
Spencer could. It's just they drafted a guy at 40. He has to get on the field this year to really have a real shot at doing something. And I think his chance will potentially come. Unless Spencer goes out there and just absolutely kills it. And that's not impossible either. Look, I think there's a lot of stuff Spencer has to do better, but if Shough never got drafted at late,
we'd be encouraged by what we're seeing by Spencer.
Yeah, there's growing pains and all that. Yeah. I think the conversation would be framed a little bit differently. I think it's just more like, man, this is kind of frustrating right now, and I'm sure it's frustrating for Shough to be living it, and I'm sure he's feeling it, and you know it should shift at some point. But yeah, I mean, there's stuff about Spencer to be excited about. I was excited.
And this is something else we framed months ago, was, you know, it very quickly became Shough or nothing. And Spencer kind of got lost in that shuffle. And there's probably 24 videos you can go find of us saying, well, hold on a second. Spencer Rattler's here. Like, I know Tyler Shough has 7 years of college experience, but Spencer Rattler has a year of NFL experience. I would say that year of NFL experience is way greater than 7 years of college, for sure, especially when most of the college isn't transferable because it's in like the Oregon offense or the Texas Tech offense or whatever. So, and kudos to Spencer, which I'm not surprised. You don't get to where Spencer is and you don't do what he's done unless you have this mentality anyways, but to be able to kind of cut through that noise and to be able to look at this and just say, you know what, I'm going to put my head down and do what I got to do. Kudos to him. And as a Saints fan, Spencer Rattler winning the competition is not you losing. Spencer Rattler, if he wins the competition, you got to feel pretty good that you got a guy, especially with the traits that Spencer Rattler has, the physical ability. You know, he's not Jake Haener out there. No offense to Jake Haener, but Rattler has some special physical ability. So, you know, I'd lose zero sleep if Spencer Rattler was a starting quarterback. I'd lose zero sleep if Tyler Shough ends up winning and he becomes a starter. But yeah, I mean, it's not one of those things where as long as one of them is good, then we're okay. And right now it seems like Spencer Rattler's trending in that direction.
Excited about 50% of his snaps last year. You know, we'll see where it kind of goes from there.
I was going to use Spencer as an example of what I actually expect from Shough. Like, 7 days into camp, I wasn't anointing Spencer Rattler as anything last year. And then as camp went on, he had some nice moments, and he certainly had a couple preseason highlights. And even then, I didn't think he was like, oh, he should be starting ahead of Derek Carr. He's ready right now. And then circumstances dictated that he got to play 7 games, and we saw some good, some bad. Like that's anyone who doesn't follow that arc is kind of an anomaly. That's what I expect from Tyler Shough. Not to look ready the first week of camp. I bet before August is over, we see some nice things in camp and the preseason. Maybe Spencer starts, but I bet Shough gets chances to start this year.
Yeah, I agree with that part. I think Spencer starts. I think Shough does get a chance to start, and then we go from there. I think that's really when this quarterback battle hits its like next chapter, where Rattler starts 4, 5, 6 games. Shough starts. Let's see what they both look like in real NFL, the regular season. Okay, then go from there. Unless Spencer just lights it up, and then you never go to Shough. But
and I bet sometimes he looks pretty good, and sometimes I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see an exact carbon copy of sort of Rattler's growth chart. Like, I'm not saying who's better, who's worse, who has the higher upside, who doesn't, but that's probably pretty typical of what it looks like. So if he had come in here and wowed us in the first week of camp, he would have been the exception to the rule, I think.
Yeah. I just feel like there hasn't been enough to get excited about. That it's not even the wow. It's like he had the Jawan.
All right, I'm going to say something controversial yet brave. You know the show Tires? And I know some of my friends who are watching this are going to know where I'm going with this. So I love Shane Gillis. Listen to his podcast. Me and my friends were all fans of his. Cool. So Tires came out the first season, and we were all excited to watch it. And I watched it, and I was like, man, I don't know. Like, that wasn't very funny. And they were, and some of the, they were like, no, man, that was funny. Come on. And then you kind of go a little longer, and then they kind of admit, like, okay, the first season wasn't that great. It's like sometimes when you have high hopes for something, or you invest in something, or you believe in something, you force yourself to like it, and you force yourself to find, even the littlest thing to be excited about. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, thank God. Okay, we got something. I feel like that's how it's been with Shough a little bit, where like Shough does the littlest thing, and everyone's like, oh, okay, we're good. Look at that throw. Look at it. But if you take your steps back, it's like, we're really kind of reaching here on what to be super excited about.
Moment, and there haven't been a ton of others.
You're right.
Yesterday, I thought the ball was coming out quick. Today I think he had a couple of really bad mistakes. The first one was the pick, and it was following a bad snap, and then he tries to fire it into Cedric Wilson. It gets tipped by Rico Payton, intercepted by Nephi Sewell. I think that's a teaching moment in the context of a battle and the fight, all that stuff. I think it plays a little bit differently in the mind, but that probably is something where you go and you're like, if you're hey, don't make a bad situation worse.
And what do we see in Shough's college highlights? Some of his LOL viral clips is him making a bad situation worse. Like the rollout pick thing, I don't even know what you call it, where the ball like miraculously comes out from behind him somehow and gets picked. Like it's like a Will Levis play. It's like a funny LOL goof and gaff, but that's kind of exactly what Nick just described, where it's this like horrible moment that's compounding, and it's like it's very unique, but it's just a horrible thing that he's making worse with his decision making, which is a lot of what Will Levis did, where all these like Will Levis rolling out, getting sacked, pitches the ball that gets pick sixed. It's like it was bad that you were rolling out, getting sacked. Eat the sack, throw the ball away. Don't make it worse by now pitching it. So that's another thing where it's another flag that was there in the draft. And if Shough's doing it, he's got to fix that, and he's got to adjust, and he's got to get rid of some of the stuff we saw in college or during the draft process. I am hesitant with plays like this. I'm hesitant with plays like this to be like, okay, this is the move. Okay, this is it. This is what it's all about. Because you hear a lot about this exact play, basically, of this kind of like making something out of nothing, throwing off platform or falling away from the throw or whatever. These kind of make me nervous in the NFL. And this also is kind of the concern with Shough. The concern is what he does under pressure. We saw the Warden Sharp tweet. We've seen the numbers. He is horrible, or has been horrible, under pressure, facing a blitz, free rusher, whatever. However you want to phrase it. Not good. The end of this play is fine. But this is kind of some of that of why, right? He's got a free rusher. He's under pressure. He's fading away from the pass. Ends up not even looking. Like he rolls away from the play, throws the ball up, rolls away. And when you see that kind of stuff, it's like, I know this goes for a touchdown. I know it's cool. I know it's a highlight, but I don't really want to see this in the NFL. Like, see how he's, all right here. So he fades. I mean, I got to get a better clicker. But fading away from the hit, all that, throwing it up,
Tuck that and run. Don't try to create something out of it. Don't make it worse. Don't have a turnover. I think you fix that. You just don't want to see it again. The second one, I don't know what was going on, but he's trying to heave a throw.
It was not
back foot.
That was his lowest moment in camp,
it was like 3 yards short. Definitely not a good ball. Now we've seen Rattler throw a very similar interception too. He shortened the end zone in a red zone period. He got picked up as his first pick at camp. The one yesterday was underthrown, but the thought process behind trying to fire that off, I think some of what makes Tyler Shough a good player is that he is able to make off-platform throws. So you don't want to completely take it away, but they have to be like, you don't want to be falling back on your back heel trying to throw the ball over a defensive player into the.
Go look at all of his highlights. Go look at Tyler Shough's highlights of what before the draft process, and that's what you're going to find. I mean, this is the play. This is one of the plays that we saw over and over again. Rolls out, fine. Defender in his face, back foot, throwing it over a defender. Like, that's kind of what he did. And that's why it's such a razor's edge. I'm trying to find the other one. He did the exact same thing. I can't remember the game, but it's such a razor's edge, man, where some of the stuff is awesome. Was it against Clemson? Some of the stuff is awesome, and when it works, it is awesome. But when you look at the foundation of it, and it's right there, like this thing gets picked, and all of a sudden you're looking at this throw like, brother, in what world are you falling off your back foot, getting hit, flip it into the middle of the field, over 2 defenders? Like, if this gets picked right here, it's 3rd and goal, you're on the 5, like, live to fight another day in this situation. But it works out, good throw, touchdown, and all of a sudden it's like, okay, cool, he's the best player of all time. But I don't want to say the fundamentals or what, but I'm not surprised at all that the throwing off your back foot into defenders, over a defender, I'm not surprised at all that right now is like kind of a problem.
The end zone. Maybe you get away with that in Louisville, but you aren't going to get away with it against the Green Bay Packers.
And look, just because he did that once now in camp, that was the second interception he threw. It's the first time he's thrown an interception falling backwards on his back foot. But that was sort of a knock on him. You see that on his film in college, so it's a habit they have to break him of. No,
definitely, yeah, and yeah, it's got to go. But look, I don't think you are, like, nobody's counting him out yet. Yeah. I still think prototype size, prototype arm, very athletic, does a lot of good things. I think
he'll have good moments in preseason games too.
Yeah, and I think he's smart. Like, I think at some point it's gonna slow down for him. It just is going way too fast. I think what you got to worry about though is, like, just don't let it snowball on you now. Don't start like letting it get into your head.
Well, that's why I think I'm not a coach, but this is probably where I would not let it snowball, and I'd say, all right, let's take the pedal off the gas a little bit when it comes to this competition, and let's get you comfortable doing good things first. And if that means playing against the second string for a while, or playing against the third string for a little while and building up some confidence and working through some of those bad habits, okay, then we'll jump you back into this, like, heavy competition. But if it isn't working, and, I'm not out there, who the hell knows, but if it isn't working, I do feel like in this situation, like, you can push to where it does snowball, and then all of a sudden you're your own worst enemy. So it's only been a week, but I'll be interested to see how the coaching staff plays it.
And, hopefully it doesn't. All right, moving on to our next.
All right, there you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, quarterback battle update for you. Interesting stuff. Looks like right now Rat Daddy will be leading the Saints in week 1. So there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments below what you think. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.